Sitting in the living room, Bayan was continuously looking at her husband, or one can say cold husband with sad eyes, who was working on laptop, and that's one weekend. There was complete silence and Bayan was having it, so she decided to break. Bayan, Jungkook. His eyes were on laptop, he didn't look at her and only did a hmm. Vine rolled her eyes secretly and said, "At what time we will leave for my parents' house?" She said with a hope, but it got shattered when he said, "We aren't going, only you are going, Vine." Vine looked at him in disbelief and said, "I told you before, Jungkook, they only ask for you every time. It's been 3 months you haven't visited my parents." Jungkook finally looked at Vine and said, "Look, I tried a lot, but my schedule is very busy and I am having an important meeting with client tomorrow, so I have to prepare for that. This time go with Trevor, next time I will come with you." Ryan, I have been listening to your this speech from past 3 months again and again. Saying that, she stood up from the couch and went towards her room, leaving Jungkook, who was looking at her. That's what happening in their life from past 3 months. Jungkook was not like that before. He was a normal person doing his duties of husband perfectly, but from past few months he was changed. After 1 hour, Ryan was sitting on the edge of the bed and Jungkook was sitting on opposite sides still doing his work. His attention went on Ryan, who was talking to her mother on the call. Ryan, "Yes, mom, we won't come today again." Ryan said, looking here and there, ignoring him. "I know, mom, I'm sorry for that." Jungkook said he is busy, that's why he can't come. Ryan, okay. Ryan talked to her mother for some time and then cut the call. Jungkook, "So you decided to make me a bad person in your mother's eyes?" Jungkook said coldly. Ryan turned towards him and said, "I told her the truth. Don't tell me you wanted me to tell her a lie." "Jungkook, you are talking like you haven't tell any lie to anyone." Again, she shot that kind of a response from him. Wine, "Yes, that's what I'm doing from past 3 months, lying to my mother because of you, but not anymore." "Jungkook, I told you I am busy." Wine, "And that's what I told them, that you are busy from last 3 months and you are don't have any time for me and my parents." There was a silence after that. Wine took a deep breath and controlled her emotion, and Jungkook was still looking at her coldly. "Jungkook, look, tomorrow is the last day. I have an important meeting and then we will go at your parents' place." "Wine, fine then, I will see." Saying that, Wine went out of the room to prepare dinner, leaving him alone. He shook his head and again focused on his work. Here, Wine was setting up the table for the dinner. She paused and looked at the door of her husband. Every time was looking okay, but from past few weeks Jungkook was like this, hurting her with his words and not giving her time and attention when she wants. She was trying to adjust and start because she knew he was busy, but now it was getting out of her control. She tried a lot to make him understand, but he wasn't even trying to think from her side. Work, office, work from home, online meeting clients. That's what she is seeing from past few months. Vine and decided to call him for dinner. Jungkook's Papa, "I'm working in this project from past few weeks and tomorrow is an important meeting to finalize it with the client. I'm working day and night on this project and it is very important for me and my company, but still many things were undone and I have to finish it today." I was working when door got open and Ryan came inside. "Jungkook, let's go, dinner is ready." "Jungkook, just wait for a while, I am coming," he said, focusing on screen. Ryan, "Okay, I'm waiting." Jungkook didn't respond and Ryan left from there. Almost half hour was past and Van was near the dining table. She looked at the food, which was now cold, and then she looked at the door, which was closed, and Jungkook didn't came out. She rolled her eyes and again went to call him for dinner. Jungkook was that much lost in his work that he didn't knew that Vine was standing in front of him. "Jungkook, I'm waiting for you from past half an hour, but you are still here. Food is already cold. Come out." Jungkook didn't respond to her, making her more irritated. Jungkook's expression got changed. He was pressing the keys of the laptop. His laptop wasn't working correctly. It was getting hang, and suddenly all of the files got closed, making him irritated. And that's when he heard Ryan's voice. "Are you even listening to me? Come out for the dinner." Jungkook threw laptop one side and shouted on her, making her flinch. Then do me a favor and throw that phone away. Vine was taken back by his sudden outcome. I told you I am busy, but still you are irritating me from morning like that. Just get out of here. He picked up the laptop and again started working, but there was Vine standing feeling bad for herself. She took a glance at him last time and went out of the room in anger, closing the door with a loud thud, making Jungkook flinch. Vine angrily stormed towards the dining table. What's wrong with him? How can he behave like that with me? Here I'm trying to figure out the things and that guy is making it more harder like he don't want the things to go on right path. Vine was in anger and more specifically she was hurt. She looked at the food which she prepared for them. She sat on the chair and started eating her food angrily while saying, why should I throw my hard work and that's for him? I will have it on my own. After having the food, she cleaned the dishes and put the leftovers in fridge. 1 hour was past and it was time for her to sleep, but she wasn't ready to go inside the room because Jungkook was there and she was angry on him, but still she was feeling sleepy. She sat on the couch and waited so that he can come out and then she will go to bed. Jungkook yawned and closed his laptop. He was finally done with his work. He looked at the clock and it was showing 3 at midnight, and that's when he thought that Ryan didn't came inside the room from past 5 hours. His previous actions made a knock in his brain and he recalled what happened before. He closed his eyes, regretting his words. He stood up from the bed and just then his stomach made a voice, making him more embarrassed at how he said her to throw the food. Without thinking twice, he made his way outside. Coming inside the living room, his eyes went on Ryan, who was sleeping on the couch. He sighed and went towards her. Just then, his attention went in on dining table, which was clean. Jungkook kneeled down at her level and tugged her hairs at the back of her head. He creased her cheeks softly. I am sorry. He was feeling bad for treating her like that. His word was completely messing up with his married life, and he knew that. I know how hardly you are adjusting with my busy schedule and bearing my nonsense behavior, and here I am messing up again and again. Seeing that, Jungkook slowly picked up Vine in his arm, trying his best not to wake her up. Just as he turned around to go, Vine woke up and looked at him while rubbing her eyes. When she came in her sense, she tried to vent out of his hold, but he held her tightly. Vine, leave me, Jungkook, she said in her sleepy voice, making him chuckle, but then she looked at him coldly. Jungkook, let's go to bed and sleep properly. Vine wiggled in his arm and went out of his grip and stood in front of him. My legs are fine, I can go by myself. Saying that, she started going towards her room. Jungkook, where is the food? I'm hungry. Vine stopped and smirked internally and replied without turning back, Vine, inside the dustbin. Saying that, she continued to walk. Jungkook was taken back because he never thought that she will literally do that. He knew he deserved this. He was preparing himself to see empty stomach, but just then he heard her voice. Fridge. He frowned when he heard the door shutting sound, but then understood that food was there. That old guy smiled like a happy child and went to have his dinner. After having his dinner, he came inside the room and saw his wife sleeping soundly. A smile appeared on his lips. He went towards the side of the bed and slept beside her in the hope that tomorrow after the meeting everything will be fine and he will make up with her. Next day, when Ryan woke up, Jungkook was not beside her. He had left a note of sorry and told her that today he has an important meeting with a client. That's why he is going early. Ryan knew that it will go like that because it was not his first time talking like that and leaving like nothing happened. Ryan got a call when she was doing housework. It was her friend called for a meetup at lunch. At first, Ryan didn't agree, but then she thought it will be a chance for her to clear her mind, so she agreed. Here, Jungkook was waiting for his client as they shifted the meeting in the cafe. Jungkook was waiting for his secretary Ria. His attention went on the gate where Ria came in her pathetic dressing like she is on a lunch date with someone. Ria sat opposite to Jungkook and said in her fake baby voice, Sorry, sir, but I got a call from the clients and they said that they want to postpone the meeting till day after tomorrow. Jungkook eyes darkened. He made a fist and slightly banged on the table, making Rhea flinch. What? I am working on this project like a mad person and they. Rhea, I know you must be in so much stress working day and night. Rhea tried to do a fake care drama in which he failed badly. Jungkook called them in office day after tomorrow and when they arrived and told them I postponed the meeting this time like that they will came to know the importance. Saying that Jungkook stood up about to leave but just Rhea hold Jungkook's hand gaining his attention. Jungkook joined her hand and glared at her that how can she hold his hand without his permission. Rhea became embarrassed but she said, I know that the meeting didn't happen but it's already lunchtime so can we have lunch here? Jungkook rolled his eyes but then sighed and decided to have a lunch here and after that he will straight go home and see Wine. Jungkook noted making Rhea happy but little did he knew it was a bad decision. On the other hand, Vine arrived at that food street where her friend had asked her to come. Vine went out of the car and started going towards that restaurant, but her attention went on the cafe which was beside the restaurant, and there she saw her husband having lunch with his secretary. Vine's blood boiled because Jungkook said that he had a meeting in office, but here he is with his secretary. Vine already don't like that girl because she know her bad intentions toward her husband, and here her husband is joined with that woman. Here Jungkook was having lunch when suddenly Rhea put her hand on Jungkook's hand, making him stop. He glared at Rhea and she took her hand back and laughed nervously and said, there is a sauce near your lips. Let me remove it. Rhea tried to get close, but Jungkook picked up his phone and opened the front camera. Rhea's hands were still in air when Jungkook said, there is nothing. Rhea was embarrassed because she knew it was a lie, but still she had to make a move. So she stood up from the chair and went near him, saying, no, there is. Let me remove it. Jungkook was taken back by her move as she was approaching him and before she could touch him, Jungkook could react. Rhea fell on the floor as someone pushed her from the back. Jungkook's eyes widened and Rhea groaned as she fell down. Both looked at the person and it was none other than Vile. Vine didn't had enough of it, so she picked up the glass of juice and poured it on Rhea, who was still on the floor. Jungkook stood up and he already knew what was coming for him. Vine looked at Jungkook, throwing a sharp glare, and said, so you call this lunch date as a meeting? Jungkook did. No, no, it's not what you are thinking, Vine. It's Vine cut him in between and looked at Rhea and said, well, looks like I have already met with your so-called client before. Rhea stood up but got a tight slap on her face from Vine, making everyone shocked. Vine, this one is for putting your evil eyes on my husband. Saying that, Vine took a last glance at Jungkook and dashed out of the cafe. Jungkook followed Vine, hurriedly leaving Rhea, who was holding her cheek in guilt. All the way, Jungkook was trying to tell her that how the meeting got placed and how client dished him at the last moment. His intentions were not bad, but he didn't knew that Rhea was trying to take a hold on him. But there, Vine was completely ignoring him, not saying any single word. Coming inside the house, Vine was going towards the room, but Jungkook pulled her hand. She stopped and looked in his eyes. She saw he was worried and scared of something. Jungkook, trust me, please. I am saying the truth. There is nothing like what you are thinking. Vine looked at him coldly. She slowly removed her hand from his grip and went towards the room, leaving Jungkook alone, who was looking at her disappearing figure. He was hurt, thinking that she is not trusting him. Things were already bad between them, and now it was worse. Vine came inside the room and dropped her bag on the bed. She sat on the edge of and hold her head. Vine, who will tell that coldly that I always trust him? I know my husband that he didn't had any bad intention and he himself made him clear in the car about what had happened. But you have to taste your own medicine for ignoring me and for behaving cold with me. Jungkook, you have to learn the difference between office life and married life. You have to learn to leave your work at office and give time to your family and you have to understand your mistakes. Coming inside the room, Jungkook was saw Vine sitting on the bed. Vine looked at him and rolled her eyes. Jungkook went towards her and kneeled down in front of her and held her hand. Jungkook, I'm sorry. Please trust me. I didn't knew that Ria was like that, and I didn't went with her on purpose. I had meeting, but it got cancelled. Jungkook said the truth, but didn't knew that he didn't need to explain her because she already trusted him. Vine tried to remove her hand, but Jungkook didn't left her hand. Let's go. We will go at your parents' place. Jungkook said with a hope, but Vine, no, I don't want to. Jungkook, no, let's go. Vine jerked his hand and stood up from the bed, and he also stood up. Vine, you don't have to do all this fake care. It was you who never wanted to go there. No, stay here. I'm not in a mood. Jungkook, it's not like that. I was. Before he could complete, Vine went inside the washroom, shutting the door. Jungkook signed and brushed his hand on his face. It's not that easy, John. Jungkook, you have to try harder. Jungkook think for a while and went outside the room thinking something. After 1 hour, when Vine came outside the room, she didn't find Jungkook anywhere. She went towards the kitchen to prepare the dinner, but her steps halted when she saw Jungkook cooking food. Vine looked at Jungkook and remembered how he used to cook before in weekends for her. Jungkook sensed her presence. Jungkook looked at her and flashed his cheese smile towards her. She was feeling blessed because it was the same Jungkook with whom she fell in love. But Vine controlled her emotion and went inside the kitchen and looked at the dish Jungkook was preparing. But then she ignored and went to get a water. Jungkook, just wait for a few minutes. Dinner is almost ready. Vine didn't looked at him and gulped the water and said, I'm not hungry. Enjoy yourself. Saying that, she went outside the kitchen but stopped when Jungkook said, but I have prepared it for both. It will get wasted. Vine. Jungkook said calmly, hoping that she will join him for dinner. But what she said next made his heart broke into pieces and he felt in guilt. Vine, who cares? Throw it in waste. Saying that, Vine left from there, leaving him in guilt. When Vine said that, Jungkook remembered his own words, which he said yesterday in anger, that how he said her to throw the food away, which he prepared for both of them. He felt in guilt, like how he felt bad, just like that Vine would have also felt like that. Jungkook sighed and went outside the kitchen. Sitting on the couch, Vine was holding her stomach because she was hungry, and moreover, she was badly missing the cooking food by him. Vine looked at front and saw Jungkook coming towards her. She started looking here and there, ignoring him. He came and sat beside her. Jungkook took a deep breath and said, I know you are doing all this to make me taste my own medicines. Wine in mind, finally someone got his brain back. Jungkook, I know what I did was wrong. I should have respected your value and your time, but I was bad into that project that I forgot everything. And look how I got played myself for this forget. I forgot you and got punished like that. I'm sorry, Vine. I never wanted to do that. It's just the situation was different. Vine bited her lips and said, so you mean to say that if again you got this kind of situation, I should be prepared for this? Jungkook, no, no, never. I promise I will handle the things completely different. I will manage my schedule, and no matter how much important my project is, still I will give you time which you deserve. I promise. Vine looked at him, raising her eyebrow. Jungkook, I came to know my mistakes. Please forgive me this time. It was my first and last mistake. Vine, what about Ria? Jungkook, oh, I already fired her. Vine picked up a cushion from the side and threw it on his face. You have been doing this from few months. Jungkook, trust me, I will never do that again. Please forgive me this time, please. Love. Jungkook cupped her cheeks and started kissing her whole face. Vine was trying to get out of his hand, but he wasn't letting her. Vine, Jungkook, leave me. Leave me. Jungkook, first say, did you forgive me? Vine, yeah, leave me, I'm hungry. Jungkook finally stopped and looked at her. Vine, promise me you will never do that again, or else this time you won't find me at your house anymore, Jihan. Jungkook. Jungkook, promise next time hit me with your slipper if I did that again. Saying that, Jungkook picked her up in his arm and went towards the dining table. Marriage life is all about understanding, love, sacrifice, respect, patience, and the value of time.